name's Taylor, and I just wanted to share my journey with endometriosis.
Welcome everyone, my name's Taylor and I just wanted to share my journey with being diagnosed with endometriosis. So for those of you who don't know what endometriosis is, also known as endo, it's a reproductive disorder where tissue similar to the lining of a woman's uterus starts to grow on other organs in the abdomen. And obviously the lining of the uterus sheds monthly, and the tissue that's now growing outside of the uterus have them same receptors, so they also decide to bleed. So there's nowhere for that blood to now go. Everything becomes sticky, can stick together. That's how scar tissue, adhesions, it's a never-ending list and a vicious cycle that continues for 1 in 10 women around the world. So yeah, I was diagnosed in 2017, so it's been a tough few years, but I guess I just wanted to let you all in on a few different things. So main symptoms for endo, I guess every woman experiences different ones, and just because I experience some things, it doesn't mean you or someone you love will experience the exact same symptoms. Symptoms for me just started with painful periods. Uncomfortable, but I just assumed that that was normal. Periods were supposed to be painful, periods were supposed to not be spoken about, and you just had to deal with it. So that's what I did, until dealing with it got to a stage I couldn't anymore. I'll continue about me later, but some other symptoms are heavy bleeding, painful intercourse, which is also one main one, bloating severely, nausea, and fatigue. They're just some of the main ones that I can think off the top of my head, but the list is quite long of some other difficult symptoms, like being intolerant to some types of foods like gluten and dairy, and like I said, there's a whole different range where I'm sure you can do a lot of research. There's a few groups out there. There's a really good group for Melbourne girls called Melbourne Endometriosis Sisters. I'm part of it, and they are also supportive and have so much advice, because obviously we're all going through the same thing, so it's good to have someone to lean on. Excuse my dogs barking at probably just people walking past. So yeah, so they're just some of the basics, I guess, of endometriosis. So a bit of a background history on me. I've had 5 laps in total. I'm going for my 6th lap next week, and I'm hoping to do a little vlog about it, I guess, and just show you pre-op, during, recovery, post-op, how I get ready for my procedures, just I guess a little how-to, if you'd call it that. So I've had 3 excision surgeries. So excision surgeries are with specialists, so they're specially trained in dealing with endometriosis. They're lengthy procedures, and they are quite an intense recovery. So yeah, I've had 5 laps in total. My first was by a gynecologist who diagnosed me with endometriosis, and that was in 2017. After that, I was put on the contraceptive pill. I took that consecutively, had 3-month breaks. Everyone's different, but that's what I was doing, and I found it was okay at the start, and not having periods was really strange for me, because as a young girl I was like, oh, every woman, there's I guess a whole lot of different things out there that let you know if you don't have a period, and like that's abnormal, your body's storing it all. There's lots of different views people have, and that is okay. We all have our own opinion, and we all have our own rights and wrongs, so you just need to go with whatever you're feeling is most comfortable for yourself and your situation. My second laparoscopy was done by an excision specialist, and I did that because after my first laparoscopy, 6 to 8 months later, I was having chronic daily pain, and that was something I hadn't experienced previously to having my first laparoscopy. So I thought maybe I potentially need a second opinion. That's when I joined the group of Melbourne Endometriosis Sisters, and there was a few specialist names that were on that list. So I had a few different consultations and I picked one. He is amazing. He really helped me, I guess, through it all. So after chatting with him, after that first laparoscopy, which was my excision one, which was in 2018 at the start, actually no, it wasn't the start, it was in June, not January. Yeah, so I was in June 2018. I had excision surgery, catheters placed, I had drainage tubes, and a night stay in hospital. So recovering from that was a lot different to recovering the first time, where it wasn't an admitted stay. I didn't have a catheter, I didn't have drainage tubes, and recovery wise I could say it was a lot better. I felt like my body had enough time to rest before I was back up and doing things. So yeah, after that surgery I thought I was gonna be onto bigger and better things, but unfortunately my luck wasn't really on my side, and I started developing adhesions after all my surgeries, and my ovary, my right one, started adhering to my pelvic wall, side wall. So my ovary then became not mobile, so things like intercourse were really uncomfortable for me. Going to the bathroom for ones or twos was like a lot of pressure on everything, and so I just called up my specialist again, had another consultation, did another internal ultrasound, and we found obviously all this out. He was like, unfortunately we're gonna have to go back in again. So I went in for another surgery, and I woke up, same thing again, catheter, drainage tube. The day after that surgery I get the catheter removed, and unfortunately my bladder wasn't waking up and responding like we would have liked it to. So I had this thing called bladder retention. So I had to then stay another night in hospital and reinsert the catheter whilst I was awake. So I found that really daunting because I thought it was going to be extremely painful, and I was really surprised when it was discomfort. Obviously something is going in a place it really shouldn't be going. But yeah, it was actually okay. I'm here to tell the story, so it wasn't that bad. And yeah, so I had to then have it removed again the next morning, see if my bladder had reduced in inflammation, and I was able to release any urine that was being stored, and I ended up being able to remove, I think it was 30 mil, and your bladder's supposed to empty around 300. So it just wasn't good enough. My specialist wasn't happy, so I went home for a week. We had to reinsert the catheter and go home for a week with a new catheter. So I guess I found that really weird trying to adapt to, because I'd already spent a couple nights in hospital now. I just wanted to get back to normal routine, and I couldn't. So I was going to the shops, obviously in my baggiest tracksuit pants with my catheter attached to my leg, which was a really strange feeling, and it was really odd. But it's all experiences and they all make you stronger. And I feel like I have grown so much as a person, and I guess everyone deals with stuff in life, and we all just have to figure out how we're dealing with it individually. But I've got a really amazing support team. My family are incredible. My parents, my extended family, my sister, my boyfriend, everyone. I love them all. My work colleagues, just everybody in my life is so understanding, and I've never been felt like what I'm experiencing isn't real. So I guess that's just kind of like a background on my story. After my last laparoscopy, which was in December 2019, I was having a lot of weird post-op pain 2 weeks later. And I thought, oh, things are just, I guess, getting back to normal. Fingers crossed there's no more adhesions. And that's what pain I'm feeling. So the pain progressively got worse, and it was maybe 2 days after that, I was like, I think we're gonna have to have another emergency department visit. So I ended up going to the hospital where I had my original laparoscopy, and they had to do a couple of scans. We had to do a transvaginal ultrasound, CT scan, and it came back that I had a cyst growing on my ovary. And obviously cysts are quite common in women who are menstruating, and especially girls who have endometriosis, polycystic ovaries. They are uncomfortable, but it's not something rare. So I thought, can a cyst really be causing this much pain? So they let me know that the cyst was, I think it was 4.5 or 5 centimeters. And they said, you've just had surgery 2 weeks ago, so for it to grow progressively in a 2-week span like that, that's quite large. And I was like, okay, so where do we go from here? So I was sent home with pain relief, told to take it easy, and if my pain gets worse, to come back in. So 2 days later, I ended up not being able to move. My whole body felt completely numb. I was nauseated. I was extremely swollen. My lower pelvic region, my lower abdomen, I looked 8 months pregnant. It was really severe. And for me, I try and take good care of my body, and it just wasn't, it wasn't me. So I ended up back Monday morning. This was 2.5 weeks post laparoscopy excision surgery, and the cyst had grown to 8 centimeters in a few days. So I had a gynecologist come in, and they admitted me into the hospital, and I had to get the cyst removed. So it ended up being an 8 centimeter hemorrhagic cyst. I don't even know how to pronounce it properly. I'm sorry for those. Hemorrhagic. So it was pretty much, in basic terminology, it was a blood-filled cyst growing on my ovary. And he said that I was really lucky. If we had left it any longer, I could have potentially lost my cyst. I could have potentially lost my ovary. Luckily, we got the cyst out, but it was starting to twist my ovary, and it's called an ovarian torsion, and I could have then completely lost my ovary. So I was really fortunate that I just listened to my body. I went in, and yeah, that is where I'm at today. I'm gonna assume my story is not gonna stop there, but if I can just help 1 or 2 girls out there, just know that if you're feeling something that's not right, if you don't advocate for yourself, nobody else will. So the earlier your diagnosis, the better chance you have in the long run. If having children is something that you would think of in your future, endometriosis affects a lot of women with their fertility. That's another main symptom that I didn't name before. And for me, I've always wanted to be a mum. I've just been really maternal, and kids is something that I would hope for sometime in the future, but as we all know, I'm just not sure. So anyway, that's me. That's my basic rundown in a short video of what I've gone through in the last few years. Like I said, I just want to help any girl out there, even if it's 1 or 2. If you want to message me, I'm quite an open person. I don't have anything personal. Nothing's too personal. I live in a family where we're very open, and we speak about things that are going on in our lives. And if someone needs a shoulder to lean on, or just wants to ask a question, if what they're feeling is something that I've potentially felt, and like I said, no symptom is the same for any girl going through endo. Every day's hard. It's tough. It's mentally exhausting, physically exhausting, emotionally, you name it. It's all exhausting. But like I said, if you've got a really good support team, or even furry friends, like I have 2 amazing puppies that I adore, who just give me comfort. You need to find what works for you. Also, another thing, which I have on me, is my hot water bottle. Oh my goodness. This is my life. It goes everywhere with me. I have my hot water bottle everywhere. It just seems to help. I don't know if it's a comfort thing, or if it's actually helping, or now I've psychologically made it help, but grab yourself a hot water bottle for even if you just don't have reproductive issues and you just want a hot water bottle, I feel like they're great to have. So yeah, thanks everyone if you're still watching. I know I've blubbed like heaps, but I talk a lot. So yeah. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments, or if you want me to post another video about something specific that you'd like me to talk about, I'm happy to do so. Thanks again for watching. So thanks everybody for watching. If you're still watching, thanks even more.